Do we think we're going to get smiles and thumbs up from Jonathan R at some point during this game?
I hope so. I hope he skates up to the balcony and, gives us a direct amount of smiling and skating.
I'm going to go for one of those distance high fives.
Yay!
If I can, as he goes past, and just high five him. It's been a phenomenal day so far. This, of course, is your number 4 seeds versus the number 5. Invariably, coming into any playoffs championship matches, these are the games that a lot of people try and keep an eye out for. When you have seedings this close, especially if games are going to seeding, which, to be fair, today they haven't really been. There's been a couple of upsets.
Yeah.
This could be one of the tightest games of the weekend, and we've already had some tight games anyway.
Oh, it's all been a bit much, but I've loved it.
It has been awesome, and this is only day 1. We've still got like 2 days left of this.
Oh, I know. What are we going to be like at the final?
I keep thinking, how is this just the time of the day? It's gone nuts. The whistle goes there, though. The teams are lined up and ready to go. Of course, the Aftershocks, as we mentioned earlier, playing in black. New York Shock Exchange in white. Whistle goes. First jam is underway. They get slowed down coming off the jam line. Both jammers can't quite make out who they are just yet, trying to push their way round.
It's Sammy Dangerfield taking on B-Stang of the Aftershocks.
And it looks like B-Stang did make his way through, but a cut track called on B-Stang. Early jammer penalty for the Aftershocks. He'll make his way to the penalty box, taking a seat. That leaves Dangerfield trying to get out at the front. Lead jammer still open. Sammy Dangerfield trying to push. Another penalty call towards the end. That's number 12, Becker, on his way to the penalty box. So a jammer down and a blocker for the Aftershocks. First lead jam to New York.
And we've got the thumbs up from Sammy Dangerfield as he takes lead jammer.
It's like he skates with Jonathan R and learns more than just skills. He's also learned facial expressions.
Yes, definitely. So he's right in the thick of the pack now, just getting a bit held up by one of his own teammates.
Trying to push their way around. They come off of turn 4, back into that straight. Goodness me, that's a shoulder right to the sternum. Oh. Problem is, they're not going to wonder where Sammy Dangerfield is. With those sort of coloured leggings and socks, they're going to see him a mile off. He can't really be inconspicuous.
No, not really. He'll never do stealth mode jamming, will he?
No, I don't think it's possible. Still trying to push down. Both teams now slowed down right on that inside. It's hard to believe that we're only on the first scoring pass for both teams. It's been hard hitting straight away.
And the first lap as well around the track. They've moved very slowly, so that just means that the defensive work on both sides is top notch.
Yeah, B-Stang out of the penalty box. Power jam over, but still can't push his way through the front. No pass, no penalty. Off goes B-Stang. Sammy Dangerfield now trying to push his way around. Finds a space. Wyatt takes a hit from I Don't Care Bear. Dangerfield sees him coming, hits his hips, calls the jam. It's hard to believe that one ran as long as it did. 5 points scored. If that is how this game is going to go, this is going to be a tough afternoon for both teams.
It really, really is. They will be earning their beers at the after party, I think.
They're in for a bit of a New York shock by the looks of things so far, but 5-0 for the Shock Exchange off of that first jam. And it looks like in black with a star for the Aftershocks is going to be number 10, Rolomite.
And in white for New York Shock Exchange is number 5, Pablex.
Again, slow start to both packs. They try and move their way around the inside, recycle back. Rolomite still working, gets out lead jammer for the Aftershocks. And this time we've had a kind of a role reversal to the first jam. It's now a jammer penalty for Pablex, power jam for the Aftershocks.
For some reason Rolomite was having trouble staying on the track there. Not really sure why, there was no blocking there.
Nothing going on. He's finding his feet. He's doing like the F1 cars and just warming himself up as he goes.
Yeah, warm up your wheels.
You've got to weave, have to weave. Manages to weave his way through the pack though, out of turn 3.
Nice 5-point Grand Slam.
10 points so far in this jam for number 10, Rolomite. Way, a little hop skip over the apex. It's kind of a signature for those who've seen him skate in the past for obviously the Aftershocks and Team USA. They'll know he does love an apex jump.
He really does.
Or an apex split in that case.
Yeah.
Pablex now out of the penalty box. Recycled back. Rolomite tries to draw the early cut. Again, both teams slowed down out of turn 3 into turn 4, trying to work just a solid New York 4 wall at the front. And Rolomite calls the jam.
Yeah, he's had quite enough of that. It's not apex jumping around, he's calling it off.
You do sometimes wonder, because of sort of the way Rolomite skates, whether or not it's an apex jump or just an apex step.
Yeah, it's probably just a step, to be fair.
Like
what happens if he jumps? Does he like jump the entire track?
I think that he's the reason we have a suicide line.
Oh, right, okay.
He's the reason we
It's his
have that
fault.
safety line 10 feet back. It's basically to cover the wingspan of Rolomite.
Yeah, I can understand that. We might have to move the crowd back a little further, actually. I'm a bit worried they're a bit too close.
That's why they've put the benches and penalty box there.
We're going to put them outside. We're going to put them outside in a bit.
Jam number 3 underway now. That's the New York Shock Exchange blocker at the front. Number 164, Carl LeFou, tries to push through. Jammer referee confirms he's in. He's still good, and he is lead jammer.
And it's Beastang jamming for the Aftershocks in black still. Trying to find his way through the pack. Oh, a big shoulder hit there from T-Stop Tornado of the New York Shock Exchange on Beastang.
Beastang obviously out in that first jam and now in number 3 with the Aftershocks running a little bit of a lighter roster. Be interesting to see how they work their jammer rotation as this game goes on. Will they do a one-on, one-off? Will they be able to if the walls are that tight? How tired are the jammers going to get?
So 5 points collected by 184 there. That is Carl LeFou.
Carl LeFou.
164, sorry.
He's off and away, and a track cut penalty being issued. Can't quite make out who it was to, but a penalty called. Looks like that's T-Stop Tornado. He'll make his way to the penalty box for 30 seconds. Shock Exchange now down by a blocker, but Carl LeFou says, it's fine, I just go after the Aftershocks ones anyway and get a few more points. Star pass from Beastang as that one drew to an end, but you see on your screen here, look at that last little block. Just tried to hold himself up. No pass, no penalty as they went through. So just a 1 point game already.
Oh, is this how it's going to be? So tense, so close. I'm fine with that.
I know. Good. That's what we like.
That's what we like.
I always like when you get to the end of a game where it has like a 1 point difference and you go, wow, we just played a full hour to win by a point.
Wow.
We killed ourselves for 60 minutes just for a point win.
But that's quite an important point.
If I just scored 1-0 in the first game and ended it there, would we have been okay? Number 0, Sammy Dangerfield back out jamming for the Shock Exchange. Looks like number 10, Rolomite back out for the Aftershocks.
Yeah, he's taking the lead jammer.
Oh, goodness me.
Hustle and on the floor, everyone.
Amazingly quick footwork from Rolomite, but you see there, Sammy Dangerfield capable of some awesome feats of skating himself out and chasing him down.
Oh yeah, so we aim for a little bit of a jammer on jammer action, a bit of dancing, getting up close and personal, but Rolomite calls it off.
You could see he was just teasing him. He thought, I've got the advantage, I'm going to slow down, I'll just take this one as tight as I like.
Oh, yeah.
You see here, watch the shake of the shoulder, just bang, drops it through right shoulder, and bye-bye, I'll go this way, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
He actually had time to adjust his sock and knee pad after coming out of the pack. That's just insane.
That's just the most ultimate in casual skating there. This is nothing.
I don't know.
I did see someone doing up their shoelace earlier, just after exiting the pack.
Safety first.
Safety first, yep, must do with your laces.
Next jam on the way again. That looks like, is it Beastang back out jamming again for the Aftershocks?
It is. Taking on number 5. That is Pablex.
Pablex back in, taking off to the inside, leads his way through, but Beastang's out.
It's a very short jam.
The jammer, that jam is called.
Everyone looks a bit confused because that jam was so short.
Looks like they're called just to tidy something up on the track on the inside. Little bit of blood on the track, so they're going to get that cleaned up. While they do that, we would like to thank one of our sponsors, of course, for this tournament. Roller Derby City, the official sponsor of this event, and the volunteer shirts as well. Without our volunteers and those awesome purple shirts you see dotted around the hallway on your feeds, games like this and tournaments like this can't happen. So a massive thank you to Roller Derby City for helping us kit them out in the most wonderful gear. They've been providing roller derby apparel for you and your team for years now. Check them out at rollerderbycity.com. Well, I mean, this one, 6 points already in this sausage. San Diego on 24, Shock Exchange on 18, and we're only, 7 and a bit minutes into this game?
Oh, it's a
insane.
lot of frighteningly close numbers.
It's just, I mean, I don't know where they go from here. Don't forget, if you're tuning into us at home and you want to get involved, if you have any feedback for us, by all means, head on over to social media, use the hashtag MRDA 2017, and we will pick it up on what we call our tag wall. I don't know how that works. Someone told me we had a tag wall. I thought it was just like a wall with tags.
It's very cool. We just basically have this app that brings together all the social media feeds, so we can see what you're tagging it in. It's
all
very
of the
exciting.
Things. I know.
Technology, the future, it's here, it's now. And also, you can check out MRDA on the old Snapchat, even better.
I get the feeling you like a Snapchat, Sausage.
I do enjoy your Snapchat. So if you go on Snapchat, you need to add MRDA Snap, not Snaps, as I was told earlier. It is just one snap, MRDA Snaps. Follow them on Snapchat. Get lots of pictures through of the event so far today. We'll be keeping you updated on there, all the fun shenanigans.
If you're watching at home, if you're part of a viewing party at any point this weekend, again, share your pictures with us. Stick them on social media, use the hashtag MRDA2017 and let us know. Quick reminder to folks out there, it's probably been mentioned on the feed already, but we have had some feedback that some of our audio viewers listeners at home have been having issues with the feed by using Google Chrome. If you are experiencing any difficulties using Google Chrome, or you're having issues watching the feed, if it's a little bit jumpy, a little bit stuttery, what you need to do is go into the settings and enable Flash, and that should clear up any issues. If that doesn't work and you're still struggling, go online on your mobile device, be it your tablet, be it your phone, whatever you wish, onto your app store. You can download the Cymru Clash app, CYMRU space Clash. Download the app and you can watch all of the action live on there as well. I am a sucker for apps, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, I've got the app. As soon as I heard there was an app out, I was like, get it. I got it.
Someone told me it's for watching live scores and watching live games. I'm like, I'm here, I'm part of this, I'm still going to download the app.
Yeah, same.
It just can't be helped.
Been given some fascinating facts about the team.
I believe we do have some interesting facts about our skaters. All of the teams were asked to submit some interesting facts about themselves, their individuals. And have we had some back, Sausage?
We have. So B-Stang, we've seen him quite a lot, haven't we, Jamin? He was actually in Xanadu the musical.
Xanadu the musical.
Yeah.
I can actually see B-Stang in a musical. For those who don't know, I believe B-Stang actually owns a roller rink back over in the States.
Amazing.
I'm pretty sure he has a roller rink.
We all need to be friends with him.
Exactly. Everyone needs a friend like B-Stang.
Yeah, everyone needs a friend like B-Stang. And Sammy Dangerfield, in his fabulous socks and leggings, actually is a doctor.
He's a doctor?
Yeah, I assume a medical doctor.
Well, good. We're going to need him to check the pulse of quite a few fans after this, because with the action back underway, it's still tense. 6 points of a difference. Aftershocks 24, Shock Exchange 18. Trying to make a difference to that in this jam for the Aftershocks is number 10, Rolomite.
Meanwhile, Pavlex for New York Shock Exchange has been recycled to the back of the pack. He's pushing through on the inside line.
Yeah, Plummer there, just saw him coming on the inside line, trying to plug the leak. Pavlex now trying to push away at the front, just being held up by that last one blocker. Looks like number 12, Becker, doing the solo work. Rolomite out through the front of the pack, round the inside of number 125, Malcolm Six for the Shock Exchange, and calls the jam. For our Scottish fans at home, you're not seeing things. Becker is not Shug's Bunny. A lot of people have been really confused, thinking number 12 Becker looks like Shug's Bunny. It is not Shug's Bunny. Don't worry. Shugs, if you're at home listening, it does look like you, I'm not going to lie. But it's not you. We're well aware of this. But for anyone at home who was confused, just keep an eye out for Becker's side surfing. It looks even more like Shugs.
Shug's got a clone. Are you sure?
I could be wrong.
Cloning him.
I know. To be fair, I've only ever known him as Shugs. That may be like his real name is Becker. I don't know. It could be him.
Never know.
One thing we do know is lead jammer for B-Stang, once again out jamming for the Aftershocks.
Yeah, he's fresh from Xanadu the musical.
Coming round, Sammy Dangerfield for Shock Exchange. B-Stang takes a hit off to the inside. Does the smart thing. Thought he was safe to go back through as Malcolm Sex took him off, but smart. Don't risk the penalty. Just come back in behind everyone. Play it safe and keep yourself. You can't score points while sitting in the penalty box.
Yeah, Sammy is really trying to work his way quite carefully through that wall. You could say for a doctor, he's been quite patient.
Hey, I like what
I'm
you
trying to
did
get
there.
some medical puns in now for Sammy.
Direction of gameplay penalty on the Plumber. He's seated in the penalty box. Sammy Dangerfield pushes his way out towards the front, but he was caught. Becker caught him out on the outside line. Track cut, power jam now for B-Stang. calls the jam early. Now, obviously wants to start this next one on a power jam, give himself a bit of an advantage. Is that the sort of thing we're going to see quite a bit, do you reckon?
Yeah, we've seen it a few times today, I think, where calling it off on a power jam, let a fresh jammer on, make the most of that 30 seconds.
Yeah, especially with, I mean, so far, we seem to just be seeing almost like a 2-jammer rotation for the Aftershocks. It's Rolomite and Beastang, Rolomite and Beastang. They want to keep them on track as often as possible without burning them out. Rolomite now starting on a power jam, tries to find a way around the inside line, taken off on the inside by Carl Leifu.
Really looking to maximise the points advantage during this time of power jam.
I Don't Care Bear takes Rolomite off this time, and he's recycled back. Carl Leifu draws him back to the jammer line. He's made almost no progress, but gets out just past the pivot line. Lead jammer for Rolomite, but great penalty kill time from Shock Exchange.
So it looks like New York Shock Exchange have been having a 2-jammer rotation with an extra thrown in every 3 jammers when they need a bit of a break, I think.
Indeed, with having the bigger roster, it does give Shock Exchange a chance to do that. Obviously, Aftershocks a little bit light on numbers.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how they work as they go here. Pablex called on a penalty, makes his way to the box. And looks like... No, and sadly it looks like we've actually got Sammy Dangerfield back in the penalty box as well, so possibly a star pass attempted that didn't quite go so well. We'll get clarification on that in just a second, but both Pivot and Jammer seated in the penalty box now for the Shock Exchange. Not really how they want to do this, given that they're already at a 25-point difference.
Yeah, this is not what they needed.
The non-skating officials there just clearing up in the bench. Yep, it is. Looks like there was a penalty to both issued. We're not exactly sure on what they both were, but Beastang back out jamming now for the Aftershocks. A Shock Exchange down a pivot, down a jammer, not where they want to be.
So this will be the 4th lead jam in a row for the Aftershocks.
And Beastang powered through, takes lead as the teams reset themselves in the second straight away. I Don't Care Bear trying to work a little bit of defense, find some space, doesn't do so. Does get himself back in play, tries to hold back. And as Beastang now stuck out of that turn between 3 and 4, Sammy Dangerfield is out of the penalty box, power jam over.
So this is going to be Sammy's 3rd jam in a row now, despite, he's had to sit down, but is he going to start flagging a little bit now?
This is it, he's had no chance to really build any momentum, find his footing, so to speak, and he is coming in, stop, start, and it's not a jam start. Wow, number 42 for New York Shock Exchange. Jeffrey just says, I'm going to move that wall by myself.
Yeah, I'll shift this.
No. That's what you need. That's the kind of offense you want to see from some. Don't get me wrong, he is seated in the penalty box now for, I think it was a direction of gameplay called on him.
It was a naughty one.
But it's if someone has the ability to move an Aftershocks wall by themselves, you're kind of going to want them on offense.
Yeah, you let them do it.
And looks like we are having a timeout called now. So while we do, again, a big thank you to our sponsors. This time Quad Skate. Skate shop not on site, but still online. You can go to quadrollerskateshop.com. They've been doing this for years.
Yeah, they are based in Berlin.
Indeed they are. I was in Berlin, but never got to go to the shop.
Oh, gutted.
A little bit gutted. Berlin's a lovely place, but when you go there as part of a roller derby thing, you kind of expect yourself to go visit Quad Skate Shop at some point.
Wow, next time.
It's an excuse to go back to Berlin as if I needed one. So we are just about halfway through this first half now, between the 4th and 5th seeds. San Diego Aftershocks and the New York Shock Exchange here at the MRDA Championships 2017 in Cwmbran in Wales. Aftershocks leading 47 to Shock Exchange's 18. And as we said, there's been a couple of upsets today already. Obviously, Manchester picking up the win this morning against Vancouver Murder. It's a little bit of a surprise to some folks.
Oh, yes.
Despite the rankings advantage, Toulouse picking up a win against the Philadelphia Hooligans was a surprise to a lot of people as well.
It really was.
So despite the ranking saying, yeah, this is where Toulouse deserve to be, maybe still underestimated by some folks back home.
I think so.
And yeah, this in itself, and of course Austin Anarchy and Puget Sound. Austin Anarchy, the last sort of last-minute additions, leading at half-time against Puget Sound, but Puget managed to claw it back, picked up the win, and it sets up some interesting games for tomorrow as well.
Oh yeah, it's just going to get more and more interesting, I think. There's been some shake-ups and I've really enjoyed it.
It's going to get tense. This jam, though, back underway now. Shock Exchange starting this one. Nope, no power jam start for them. My apologies. But we do have Rolomite out with lead jammer for the Aftershocks.
I almost felt a breeze from that lap there. He was so fast.
Here's this, the extra jammer, you says, working a 2-jammer rotation, but Carly Fu picking up the star now for Shock Exchange. Although not picking up any ground as he comes out of that turn.
He's on his hands and knees already.
Becker called on a forearms on Carly Fu. He'll make his way to the penalty box as Rolomite makes his way through on another pass. And looks like the plumber now issued a penalty as well, so he'll make his way to the penalty box. 3-on-2 advantage for the blockers to start this next one for the Shock Exchange.
Indeed, very cherry. I will bring on the wall. I think we've got some fans on Twitter.
Apparently so.
Yeah, see, Blakely Johnson. Blakely
Johnson.
Blakely Johnson came for the derby, but the announcer's got her like heart eyes emoji.
I think there's a few fans in the crowd have a similar emoji for B-Stang. He's out our way, takes the lead jammer once more for the Aftershocks. Looks like Pavlek's trying to force his way through. Forearms called on 714 Plumber. Pavlek's, ouch, goodness me.
What happened there?
Back on track. Tony Muse didn't see him coming. Pavlek's dropped the shoulder, dropped Tony Muse to the floor, clears his way through. And B-Stan calls the jam. That kind of Tony Muse was a little bit surprised.
Yes, I think Tony Muse was a bit lost, like he's in Tesco or something, and then suddenly jammer in the face. Now come on, now you're in the derby game. You've got to expect something like this to happen.
All of a sudden, a wild Pavlek's appeared. Pavlek's used shoulder check. It was super effective.
Super effective. So this is the 6th lead jammer in a row for the Aftershocks.
6 in a row, and we have an official timeout now as well. A few timeouts to get this one. It's slowing things down, but the Aftershocks still managing to keep their rhythm quite well.
Yeah, I think New York Shock Exchange is just trying to claw back because they have not actually scored in the last 8 jams.
8 in a row with nothing on the score sheet for Shock Exchange isn't going to help them claw back that 42-point difference.
That's not what they need.
No. 14 and a half minutes to go. San Diego Aftershocks skating in black today on 60. The Shock Exchange on 18, skating in the white. I think it's just been a couple of jammer penalties have probably got to Shock Exchange a little bit more. Although the Aftershocks are only running a 2-jammer rotation, it's still kind of working for them.
Yeah.
They're getting that consistency between those 2 jammers. Shock Exchange not able to keep themselves clean. I mean, even now, Rolomite tries to hop over, does so, gets lead. Again, starting on a power jam.
Yep.
Exactly what we just said.
Again. And just keeping their cool. I think the trouble is that once you start getting a non-scoring streak, you can panic a little bit, and that may be what's happening to New York Shock Exchange.
Indeed, Marlon Brando trying to hold back Rolomite on the inside, gets round him, pushes his way towards the front. Brando again in play. Looks like I Don't Care Bear with him at the front. And track cut called on Rolomite. He'll make his way to the penalty box as Pavlek's comes out. Star is in his hand. Is he trying to find his pivot, or is he just trying to fake? He's definitely trying to throw his shoulder through number 20, Wyatt.
Yeah, absolutely. He's looking for a way through. I mean, the pivot's behind him, so I'm guessing it's a fake.
Looks like I Don't Care Bear's had to take himself off track to the outside, but Pavlek still with that star in hand, trying to push, falls to his feet, out of turn 4, back into the straightaway. Malcolm Sex, the pivot, is miles behind them, so he's definitely not looking for a star pass.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, your fake's not worked. You don't need to fake anymore.
We're now getting the Hansel and Gretel derby.
Yeah.
Dropping a breadcrumb, starting to bridge, trying to hold gap. Pavlek's though out and away through the front. Rolomite, of course, had got lead jammer, but there is no chance of this one being called early. He went to the penalty box, so we'll get the full 2 minutes. Pavlek's trying to get back to his feet, but Becker doing the smart thing, just stands off, holds him through, didn't engage while he was down. Goodness me.
I don't care back coming in then.
Kind of living up to his name. I don't care where you are, I'm going to hit you anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, roller Mike. Good. How did he stay on track there? That shouldn't. He just defied the laws of physics.
Yeah, I'm sure Jeffrey should have actually flattened him then. Well, no.
I don't really know how that worked.
Let's see it on that apex jump.
Yeah, that apex jump took him out for lead jammer. Looked like one hand did come down off track, but only one hand. So, no big deal.
Yep, hands are allowed.
So 4 points on the board for Shock Exchange in that last one, breaking that no scoring streak, but still falling quite a bit behind with San Diego picking up 14. So we're now at a 52-point difference. San Diego leading 74-22. And B-Stang back out jamming, takes a hit, takes a spill, again just puts one hand down. And it looks like, yeah, misconduct called on Carl Le Fou, engaging with B-Stang while he was down.
Yeah. We're seeing a lot of this like one hand on the ground thing as well today. It's like everyone's little saving move.
It's like that little skill that never used to be prominent in Derby, but since people have realised that you can do it, it's like they're using it fully to their advantage. And quite right too, if you can spot something that'll help you through, do it.
Before they change the rules.
Yeah. Before there's a modification, and track cut called on Sammy Dangerfield. He'll make his way to the penalty box. Power jam for B-Stang and the Aftershocks.
So Sammy must be on a fair few penalties by now.
Yeah, I think that's 2, 3. 2, he's picked up both track cuts so far.
Yeah. It felt like more. That's why I say, oh, he's had a few, but if it's only twice.
There's definitely been a few jammer penalties in general for New York Shock Exchange, though. I mean, between Sammy Dangerfield and I think Pablex has probably picked up a few as well. I mean, Sammy Dangerfield, obviously, we saw earlier, he was on 3 jams in a row because he just couldn't quite get himself sorted to come out. Back out in play now, though. Power jam is over. B-Stang's on the ground. Sees Sammy Dangerfield coming, calls the jam, and then quickly covers his head, just in case.
I'm just going to sit down for this one and call it off.
I don't want to go to the penalty box and spend 30 seconds there, so I'll just sit on the ground for like 5-10 seconds
just
instead.
Take my time calling it off.
Now you see there on your screens, Sammy Dangerfield with the cover in his hand. It's like he just wants to throw it away. He goes, please don't give me this anymore.
Yeah, I don't want this. Give it someone else.
I'm not enjoying this. Please, someone else take a turn.
Please, I'm not having a nice time.
It looks like it's Carl Le Fou's turn now, and Rolomite in black for the Aftershocks.
Carl Le Fou really pushing through a tough wall there, but Carl Le Fou takes lead jammer for New York Shock Exchange. That's the first lead jam in a while.
That's exactly what the Shock Exchange needed. They were struggling as the first in 9 jams that the Shock Exchange have managed to pick up lead. But Rolomite's so quick, they're not really able to take much advantage of it. Rolomite was chasing him down, and it looks like the scores go up there. 2 points for the Aftershocks, and only 1 for Shock Exchange. So even though they finally get out and break that duck of lead jammers, they still lost that jam 2-1.
Yeah. Although I think breaking that streak, getting a lead jammer, or at least, getting a point out of it, better than nothing, might give them a little bit of a boost.
Hopefully it'll give them the confidence to then say, we can do this, we are able to get lead, let's keep pushing and try it again. Because the Shock Exchange are a phenomenal team. There was no getting away from that.
Absolutely. So Sammy is pushing on the Aftershocks wall again.
B-Stang trying to force his way through. Looks like number 42, Jeffrey, trying to hold him back. Solid braced 4 wall. When you get the likes of I Don't Care Bear and Jeffrey in the same wall.
No, you do not want that.
That is not a wall you want to look at.
No, I think that's I'd probably just skate to the nearest exit.
It's just a wall that inspires fear.
Yeah, I'd be like, no, I've just realised I've got to go home and I've left the oven on. So I must leave.
I must go now. My planet needs me.
Yeah, my planet needs me. It's a different planet to this one. One where I don't jam against you two.
Ezra Pound seated in the penalty box. 4-arm penalty called for him. Shock Exchange down by a blocker. Looks like Becker's in trying to work a bit of offense for B-Stang at the front. That brings the pack right to the front. So the Aftershocks wall at the back has to keep themselves in close proximity. Penalty box empties out again though, so a full track once more.
Excellent. And there's just, on both jammers, there's some really soul-crushing walls. It just seems to be like these, it looks a bit like being at the car wash. Like, it's just these blockers twisting and rolling around and keeping the jam and gradually pushing them to the inside.
Sammy Dangerfield out. Lead 2 in a row now for Shock Exchange.
He's smiling. He's been to the Jonathan R. School of Smiling.
It's a great school to go to. Everyone's happy.
It's the best school.
Waterboy trying to hold back Sammy Dangerfield. Looks like track cut called, and he makes his way to the penalty box. Is that B-Stang on his way? Yeah, it looks like that was B-Stang has gone to the penalty box.
But where?
He is seated in there. Can't quite see where the cover is. It must be in his hand somewhere.
Or has it fell off? We've seen that a couple of times today, just the sheer excitement of it all, and your jammer panty pops off.
Everything's gone everywhere.
Everything's gone everywhere.
Replay.
I'm looking. I can't see it.
I know.
I feel like I'm missing something, which is not ideal as an announcer.
It's not best. I'm not going to lie. I love our vantage point from up here. It is fantastic. I mean, a lot of people often say the announcers consider themselves high and mighty and above everyone else. Now we are quite literally above everyone else. We're on a balcony
great.
anyway.
We can heckle. We're like those guys out there, Statler and Waldorf out of the Muppets. We're up on a balcony heckling everyone.
But the downside we get to it is there is a bit of a bar in front of us, which means we can't see everything. So we rely a lot on hand signals, which luckily the referees do quite a lot of. Yeah, there we go. B-Stang does now have the cover in his hand as he adjusts his knee pad. So he is seated as the jammer.
Did he sash it in his knee pad? Because I don't think you knew that.
That's a new one on me. Maybe he was stuck there. I have seen numerous times like covers just stuck to people's pads.
The Velcro.
Yeah. See them skating around trying to find it. It's like it's flapping around on your wrist. It is there, don't worry. So Carl Leifu starting on a power jam for Shock Exchange, trying to find a way. The Aftershocks wall wants to hold firm at the front. Pablex comes in to work offense, drops back and holds. They want to try and stretch that pack out and free up a bit of space for Carl Leifu if they can.
Bit of Matrix Styles maneuvers on the inside line. Bit of bullet time jamming, but Carl Leifu pushes on. Just one more blocker left.
B-Stang out of the penalty box. Power jam is over, but that is lead jam for Carl Leifu. And we've had a star pass now. B-Stang hands the star over to the plumber. I keep calling him the plumber. That makes him sound like that's his job. It's just plumber. I apologise.
It's just plumber.
4 points up on the board for Shock Exchange to end that one. You see here that replay on your screens is Carl Leifu trying to do the smart thing. Does so, holds himself back and takes lead. Again, smart jamming from Carl Leifu. Managed to drop back, keep himself on. Like you say, that little matrix maneuver, just to lean back.
Yeah, the bullet time leaning back. I'm like doing the leaning back as if, I've got a camera on me. I haven't. None of you can see me.
You can't see what we're doing.
Picture it.
I know. Imagine the matrix in a leopard print onesie and you've got basically what Sausage just did.
Yeah.
Exactly that. This next jam underway. It's not quite magic, but it is lead jammer. That is for the first time in this game, actually. Malcolm Sex, 1-2-5 out and lead for Shock Exchange. Completely different style of jammer, I think we'll see from him here.
Maybe this is what they're trying out now. Trying out some new fresh jammers, different techniques. Let's see what else works.
We've seen a lot of nimble footwork from the Shock Exchange jammers so far. Malcolm Sex, a whole different prospect, a bit more of a blammer, tries to force his way and drive his way through a wall. It worked as he gets out and gets lead. Rolomite though close on him.
And he goes off the jam.
Sees Rolomite coming and just thinks, no, I'm not risking that. I'm not getting into a skating contest with you.
No, we just leave it.
I'll hold it there. We've had enough for now. Less than 5 minutes to go then in this first half. San Diego Aftershocks in black on 93 and a number reversal. The New York Shock Exchange in white on 39. I love when numbers do that.
Oh, palindrome.
There we go. I always forget what that word is.
I was like, Sleazer calls it Taco Cat. But that's because Taco Cat is a palindrome.
I like that. 3 jams in a row now that the Aftershocks haven't scored in, and it looks like 4 in a row now, possibly, or 3 in a row as lead for Shock Exchange.
So yeah, unfortunately, Sammy is being sent to the penalty box.
And lead was still open, so that does actually allow, and again, this is the first time we've seen this individual jamming, but it's for the Aftershocks. Oh, goodness me. Wyatt out jamming. He does have lead jammer as low block is called on I Don't Care Bear. Plumber takes Pablex off.
Plumber doing a big recycle there on Pablex.
Wyatt trying to push his way at the front. Direction of gameplay called on 164 Carl Le Fou for Shock Exchange. And as Wyatt comes round, Dangerfield comes out of the penalty box. 5 more points up on the board for Wyatt. Pavlek's back in play, trying to find a way to work a little bit of offense for his jammer.
Always appreciated. Sammy is doing a bit of jammer defense while he's trapped behind that wall of Aftershocks.
I think the downside they've got for the Aftershocks here, there we go. They didn't see I Don't Care Bear come out of the penalty box.
How did they not see?
Stealth
mode.
They certainly felt the money appeared.
Oh, yeah.
Failure to reform called as Sammy Dangerfield goes through, completes his pass. That's number 3, Tony Muse. He'll have 30 seconds to think and muse over what he just did.
Also, did Sammy just wave to the blockers as he left the pack then?
Quite possibly. That strikes me as something he may do. So 17 points in that last jam for the Aftershocks. They're now on 110. New York Shock Exchange on 39. Probably a bigger score differential than people may have expected in this game so far.
Yeah, certainly bigger than I expected.
And we're having another quick timeout called as they fix some things and stuff on the edge of the track. So while they fix things and stuff for an official review, we'll tell you things and stuff during this official review. Again, a big shout out to our lovely stream hosts. Without them, we wouldn't be here talking to you. So a big thank you to Derby Duck Productions. They are the stream provider for this event. You can follow them on Facebook and contact them to find out how they can help stream your next event. Look at the quality of what you're getting on that screen and say, I want that for my thing. I want someone to live stream a wedding.
Oh, wow, imagine. Imagine like being a stream announcer for a wedding.
That would be awesome.
Would you get house announcers too?
Yes.
Or they just be like actually...
Is that not the person who just like does the ceremony?
Yeah, that's like the vicar or whatever.
I'm getting married next year. That may happen.
Oh my God.
It'll be like a Facebook live stream.
Derby Duck, you know what to do.
I'll get rates before we leave here. Speaking of live streaming, over the weekend, keep your eyes on the MRDA Facebook page as well, because there will be some live stream action coming across there. We're going to have some interviews with fans in the audience, some of our vendors and everything else. But what I think we're going to have to do is, for that live streaming stuff on social media, I think we're going to have to get you to do it, because you have like your own fan club going now.
I know, I don't know what really... Hi, Phoenix. So another shout out on the tag wall for me.
I'm just going to stop talking. This is yours. Go.
This is great, yeah. Yeah, Phoenix sent me some holiday photos, which is nice.
Oh,
she's in Barbados. Oh, that looks fabulous.
In Barbados and still watch. This sport literally does take over your life, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
You're in Barbados. You've taken a photo of a fantastic view of the beach.
There's something about a kitty. Is there a cat? We're gonna enhance the photo. It's like CSI.
Zoom and enhance cliche.
Zoom in and enhance.
While they do that, again, another shout out to one of our show sponsors, Bont, lighter, stronger, faster, the original carbon fibre boot. Big thank you to Bont Skates for helping put this event on. Obviously, we're in Cwmbran, Wales. First time MRDA champs have been held outside of North America, and what an event so far. How
exciting. I mean, it's been the year for it. I mean, we had the first WFTDA playoffs held in Europe this year as well. So, really exciting. We've got the World Cup in Manchester next year.
It's just all going on. Like, Europe and the UK are the places to be for Derby.
Yeah, and the Barcelona for the Men's World Cup next year.
It's just chaos.
Where is America anyway? We've forgotten about where it is. Where is it? No, you've got Europe now.
Europe is here, but North America is still representing strong at tournaments like this, especially with games like this happening as well.
Oh, yes. With the actual teams. We're just not about the locations. Send them all here. Bring them to us. We get to see you guys.
Exactly. We do enjoy it. I mean, we've seen the success before of massive tournaments held in the UK. The first ever Men's Roller Derby World Cup held in Birmingham in 2014.
Oh, yes.
You mentioned, obviously, the fact that there have been European playoffs now for other organisations. WFTDA held one in Malmo for their D1s. There is a lot going on in European roller derby right now, and it is great to see teams like San Diego, New York, Vancouver all travelling over to venues like this to take part in these tournaments, because this helps grow the sport as a whole, but it helps develop. I mean, we saw such a massive uptake in men's derby teams in the UK after that World Cup in 2014.
Absolutely, really just exploded a little bit after that. It's very exciting.
Exactly. Things like this do nothing but help promote the growth of the sport, and we're extremely grateful to both MRDA for putting on the event and to the teams for coming and taking part as well.
Yeah, we are so glad that these lot came to visit.
To all those who are possibly still in North America watching this, sorry you couldn't be here with us, but thank you for tuning in on the live stream.
Yeah, exactly, that's what the live stream's for. It's like you're basically here.
Exactly, it's like being here without being here. Use the hashtag MRDA 2017 online to let us know where you're watching from. We're watching from a balcony, and right now we are watching jammer, it looks like 164 Carly Fu for New York Shock Exchange, coming out and getting lead at the front.
Meanwhile, pushing and pushing and pushing on the New York Shock Exchange wall, we have jamming for the Aftershocks.
That's B-Stang once again.
B-Stang is really struggling against them. They just keep reappearing on him.
It's like he goes, I got past one, I got past two. How was there still four in front of me? Because they just waterfall around. It's like a hall of mirrors. It's just not working too well for
Yeah, it's like, hang on. How many of you? Are you sure you just got 4 blockers on here?
Someone please check if they had too many on track to start with.
Have a count.
Pack slows down. The whole game slows down around that straightaway, round the inside line. Away goes Carly Fu. Ryan Becker completes the pass. 5 points up on the board for Shock Exchange. This is how they need to finish this half off. They need to close strong and give themselves a bit of momentum.
Absolutely. Bit of a boost. Get the confidence back. Get back in stride. Carly Fu calls off the jam for New York Shock Exchange. That is a 7-point jam.
It's the things. A lot of teams, so many teams in the Derbyverse. A lot of people think it's an old school cliched thing, but so many teams are second half teams.
Yeah.
And the key to being a second half team is having a strong finish at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
And right now, that is exactly what Shock Exchange look like they're trying to do.
Yeah, they've just had ages without no scoring, no leads, and then suddenly they've started getting leads again, they started getting scoring again, really built up their confidence.
Exactly. Pavlek's out now trying to keep that going for them. Jamming for the Aftershocks is at iHodder's new favourite everything, that is Rolomite. Looks like number 42, Jeffery, seated now in the penalty box. Rolomite trying to push. Failure to reform called on 1983. I don't care. Bear. Rolomite out right behind Pavlex, but Pavlex does have lead jammer for Shock Exchange. Calls the jam off, and it looks like the clock has ticked down. We're going to wait for the official whistle to go.
Yep, that all-important official whistle.
The officials do love a whistle.
Official whistle, where is it?
It's like it rhymes. Our jam timer just prepping. We will get a breakdown of exactly what the scores are sitting at so far.
Now, the amount of people that are using the hashtag MRDA 2017 saying that they're meant to be at work.
Yeah.
But they're watching this instead. Good on you, but I won't tell your boss, I promise.
I know. We can't sit and go, oh, it's fine, go do some work and watch this later. No.
Watch us now.
Work is optional. Derby is not. You learn that when you're part of Derby.
Exactly.
That is the official halftime whistle now. San Diego Aftershocks leading at halftime, 110 to the New York Shock Exchange's 46. Sausage, that's been quite an interesting first half so far.
Yeah, interesting how, like I say, when NYC lost a little bit of momentum, and now like you said, they're becoming that sort of second half comeback. I think it's on its way. They ended that half with a couple of lead jams for themselves as they finish up. That should give them a bit of confidence and a bit of momentum coming into the second half. They've got about 13 and a half minutes to regain their composure, reset themselves. Big thank you to Harry Hooper, who appears to be enjoying the announcing. Thanks. Probably all sausage. I'll freely admit it's got nothing to do with me. There's still loads more action to come in the second half and loads more action to come in the day, but for now we will let you go get yourselves refreshed, and we'll be back in around about 13 minutes time. Welcome back everybody to the Cwmbran Stadium in Cwmbran, South Wales, for the second half of what's been a phenomenal game so far. Oh, absolutely. I'm absolutely loving it. It is the San Diego Aftershocks taking on the New York Shock Exchange. Shock versus shock. The big shock off. It has, and it has been a bit of a shock so far when you consider the scoreline.
It has. I mean, there's no getting away from it. The Aftershocks coming into this, 1, 2, 3, 4 skaters down. Yep. Compared to the roster of the Shock Exchange. Maybe only 3 actually, because we did mention Jonathan R earlier, but Jonathan R we haven't seen on track or out there. We're not sure if he's just not here.
We've lost him.
Exactly. Someone seems to have misplaced Jonathan R.
Yeah, he's walking around some corridor somewhere just smiling at people.
I know, he gave sort of the wrong person the thumbs up at customs. they didn't let him in because he's too happy for Wales.
Too happy, hang on, what are you up to?
I know. We're not happy in the UK right now. You can't come over here and spread joy.
Yeah, how dare you? Go away.
It's banned. They have been running quite a tight jammer rotation for both teams. B-Stang and Rolomite, your consistent jammers for the Aftershocks. We did see Wyatt wear the star towards the end of that one. Shock Exchange, though, finishing that first half quite strong. 2 lead jams in a row.
Yep. Getting
themselves a couple of points back on the board.
Absolutely. They've been jamming Carl LeFou a little bit more. He was the occasional jammer. Now he's on more often. Maybe they're keeping him in the old jammer garage as a more permanent fixture.
Exactly. He's obviously, we've seen a lot from Pablex. We've seen a lot from Sammy Dangerfield.
Yep.
But like you say, Carl LeFou coming in there now and jamming a little bit more for them as well will probably make a difference. I mean, we even saw Malcolm Sex wear the star at some point during that. So they do have the ability to freshen things up a bit. They are going to have to freshen it up quite a bit, though, when you consider they're 64 points down so far. San Diego lead 110 to Shock Exchange's 46 in that first half.
And it's quite a big gap as well, considering that Shock Exchange are 5th in the rankings and Aftershocks are 4th in the rankings. That's a bigger gap than you would expect for such closeness in the rankings.
Exactly. Well, I mean, we said before we started that 4v5 is usually quite a tightly contested game, and this one was. For the first sort of few jams, it was quite close. But then a few jammer penalties for Shock Exchange.
Yep.
They struggled to get them out. Sammy Dangerfield ended up running 3 jams on the trot because he just couldn't keep himself out of trouble.
Nope.
And from that point onwards, they've struggled to get their way back into it. Slowly clawed it back at the start of the set, or the end of the first half. But as we get ready to start this second half, you can see there just by the track that Shock Exchange now, never mind jammer penalties, they're going to start with 2 blockers light instead.
Oh dear.
Not how they want to go, but it looks like the 2 going out are Pablex and Malcolm Sex. And I think it's Jeffrey and I Don't Care Bear starting in the penalty box for them.
Oh, now those are the 2 they do not want in the penalty box.
No, those are the 2 the Aftershocks don't want in the penalty box either, because when they come out...
Yeah, they'll be extra rested and extra annoyed.
Yeah, Carl LeFou, you mentioned yourself, Sausage. They started jamming him a little bit more towards the end of that first half. Yep. Looks like they're going to start with him at the start of the second half.
Yep. And he is up against Rolomite. Again, basically the regular jammer for the Aftershocks. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if B-Stang comes out wearing the star for the next jam. Yep. Are they going to continue with that same rotation they worked in the first half, or will they mix things up a bit? Will we see Wyatt jam a bit more? Because it looked like B-Stang was maybe tiring a little bit at the end of that first half. Understandably so, when you're jamming against the likes of Jeffrey and I Don't Care Bear. Yeah. It's a very small Mexican wave happening. It's now stopped.
Loves a Mexican wave. It's not a European derby event without a Mexican wave.
I love the fact that someone's just holding up a sign saying Sex. I assume they are referring to Malcolm Sex.
I guess so. That is, for those who don't recognise him, the man who appears on every European derby feed ever. That's Disaster. He appears everywhere. Thunder from Down Under, as he's known by most. Just a little bit of a delay as we get this one ready to go.
Oh, so for the Aftershocks, 2 of the blockers have been swapped in the bin due to injury.
Yes, number 93 seated in the penalty box for the Aftershocks. The Water Boys there. So it looks like a 3-on-2 advantage. Carl LeFou, goodness me, he exploded out of there.
Oh.
Rolomite thought he was with him, but track cut called. So not only is Carl LeFou flying like a firework, he's out with lead jammer and he's on a power jam.
This is exactly what the New York Shock Exchange want for Christmas.
Goodness me, how did they slow down?
They've had their Lucasade.
Yeah, back block called on T-Dog. He's away to the penalty box now, but as he sits down, the Water Boy is back in play. Carl LeFou tries to come around into the back of Wyatt. Yeah, it looks like back block called.
It is. Unfortunately, half-time oranges did not prevent you from getting caught on a penalty, no matter how fast you're going.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many oranges you take, a back block is still a back block, unfortunately.
And we've got Rollermite back in play for the Aftershocks, hustling up against those two blockers, getting around, ready for the next lap, which will be like in a second.
Yeah, I was going to just blink and you've missed Rollermite doing a lap of the track. T-Dog out as well, so the Aftershocks back to a full contingent on track. Rollermite just those two wheels crossed the line of the tape, back in. Carly Foo's back in play as well, Power Jam over. Stuck around the pivot line, trying to force his way to the front.
And a very strong triangle formation from the Aftershocks, slowing Carly Foo right down, killing his momentum. But we got a bit of the old offense coming in there from number 5, Pablex, trying to break it up. Oh, what? That was I Don't Care Bear hitting Rollermite so hard. I think he may have done some sort of forward roll.
Pablex now trying to get in on it as well. Takes a little bit of a knock to the head.
Tell me we've got that on replay.
That was an insane hit.
Absolutely enormous hit. Are we gonna?
We've seen that a couple of times from I Don't Care Bear so far in this game. He loves to just come out of nowhere and blitz those jammers.
Absolutely lives up to his name. Oh.
I like the fact that in most of his name it's spelled like, you know, those fruit products as well. The I is a small I before everything else.
Fruit-based technology products.
Yes. So we do have B-Stang back out jamming now, and he's out in lead for the Aftershocks.
So it looks like B-Stang is hitting the pack again, just dodging around, but did get that wheel off to the edge. That would have been a cut track, but luckily you can go back. I just like the fact that B-Stang is smiling. Malcolm Sachs.
Oh dear, and possibly a charging penalty for B-Stang there. He'll make his way to the penalty box. Power Jam for Sammy Dangerfield and the New York Shock Exchange. Round the outside of the turn, engages with that Aftershocks wall on turn 3. Bit of offense from I Don't Care Bear, and then from number 1 to 5, Malcolm Sex. Now alone against the Plumber and Boo.
I just looked at I Don't Care Bear's fascinating fact. Secretly, he cares a lot.
That doesn't surprise me.
Good to know that I Don't Care Bear truly cares.
Really does care.
Especially for his own jammers when he's doing offense for them. It's because he cares. And still B-Stang really trying to just dodge around. Luckily, he is finally through. Taking his time. Looks like it's just been a tough old jam.
That looked like hard work for B-Stang.
It really did look hard. So we have got Rollermite again in the black jersey for the Aftershocks. Taking on... Oh! Another Matrix-like maneuvers there from Rollermite. Taking on number 5, Pablex. Now we haven't seen Pablex jam for a little bit. He has been doing a lot of bunk, but jam has been called off due to injury. So just bear with us. It does look like 1-3-2. That is Ezra Pound. Not sure what exactly the injury is. But medics are tending to him. And of course, that leads in directly to some information about our medics, who we love to thank them. Obviously, they're doing a great job looking after Ezra right now. If you do need any medics for your event, just check out their website. It is www.eventsmedicalteam.com. They are run by Events Medical in Saltney, and they've done a grand job. Ezra just being helped off track with our lovely medics.
So you're going to see on your screens now a little bit of a replay. Look at that hit from I Don't Care Pair.
And it was so loud at the time as well. I didn't even need to see it to know how bad it was.
We heard it.
We heard it. We really did. So a bit of a zebra huddle while we arrange ourselves, get ready for the next jam.
And we've had a quick switcheroo in the old announcer situation. This is Chase and Katie checking in unexpectedly.
Oh,
hello.
Suddenly, Katie. Hello.
I'm only filling in for a few minutes. Smack will hopefully be back very, very soon. He's just dealing with throat issues, unfortunately.
He's allergic to me.
Well, our voices are our muscles, and like skaters, sometimes we need to get them treated by medics. So.
Oh yes.
But we are here, and we have got Pablex jamming against Rolomite, who has picked up lead very quickly in this jam.
Everything he does is very quickly, I think.
I mean, honestly, how many in 5 do you think this guy can get?
I just can't even. There he is through it. I think I blinked and he did like 5 laps.
Forearms call on Big Spoon. He's making his way to the penalty box.
Oh dear, he likes to be the little spoon, really, apparently.
This is it, and Pablex finally completes his initial. Coming round on his scoring pass, picking up the pace, but the jam's called off. Took a knee there to avoid the big hits from those incoming Aftershocks blockers.
Lovely little, he's just ducking in, hoping. I think he was hoping to maybe grab a couple of points, but not quite fast enough.
This is it. I think the one thing that both of these teams have shown is just how experienced and knowledgeable they are.
Yes.
They're just, and they've played each other occasionally, you know, different skaters maybe in some situations, but they know each other quite well, which I think is definitely helping both sides.
Oh, absolutely. They know who to play against, what to expect, what works, what doesn't work, and still both sides are always ready to change it up. We've seen a couple of changes in like the jammer lineup. They've tried a few different jammers, seeing what works.
Yep, and meanwhile it is B-Stang back jamming for the Aftershocks against Carlifoo for the shock exchange.
And that is Becca for the Aftershocks in black, one of the blockers being sent to the penalty box, so the Aftershocks are a blocker short now.
It's kind of been a bit of a pattern as the day's gone on. I don't know if it's because the hall's getting hotter in here. For those who aren't here, it is getting a bit roasty toasty. I think Austin felt at home during their game because it would probably be as warm as they usually have to deal with.
Yeah, we put the heating up for them. We didn't want them to be too cold.
Exactly. We're so welcoming here in not so sunny Wales today. A bit overcast today.
It makes a change though. Normally events like these, when you're going to spend all weekend in a sports hall, it's like a heat wave.
Heat wave.
So good. I'm glad it's raining and miserable outside.
We've got Rolomite on the line against Sammy Dangerfield. These two have met up with each other a lot in this game.
Oh yeah, they have. Absolutely meeting up with each other. Swanky Dr. Leggings, as I will now call him.
But yeah, let's just rename him. We should suggest that. We should put in suggestions for for skaters' new names.
Yeah, your new name is Swanky Dr. Leggings.
But it is Rolomite who gets out. He picks up lead jammer. Rolomite, who has some swanky skates, is Stars and Stripes skates. Big hit, stops him in his tracks, so that was T-Stop Tornado, stopping Rolomite. Sammy Dangerfield makes his way around to the back of the pack.
And a bit of blocking work from Jeffrey there, just preventing Rolomite getting that last point, protecting it.
The interesting thing as well is that a lot of these skaters were named as part of Team USA's training squad for next year.
Oh yes.
So if you are, keep an eye out on not just these individual teams' social media, but also the Team USA social media. And I believe, Sausage, you have done your homework.
I made a little list last night.
On you go.
Yeah, so for the San Diego Aftershocks, I believe you have Tony Muse, Becca, Rollermite, Abraham Drinken. They've got Malcolm Sachs, I Don't Care Bear, Jonathan R, and Bishers.
Nice. So basically, almost the starting roster for Team
Yeah,
USA
pretty much.
are in these two teams. Couple that we haven't seen yet. We were saying earlier, Jonathan R hasn't really made much of an appearance yet in this game.
No, we've not seen him at all. He's got lost.
Bishers, have we seen?
I don't think I've seen Bishers.
And Abraham Drinken, I don't think is playing for the Aftershocks in this one.
No, I don't think he is. We've not seen his name.
But a lot of games left to come. Sure, we'll see some appearances.
Oh, I hope so. I hope we see everyone ever. I'm excited.
I'm absolutely excited. Now, the winner of this one is going to play again tomorrow. The winner of this game will play against, I'm just looking at my notes.
Someone. Oh, we have a baby being eaten.
Oh, we've got some backwards derby on the go. There is a name that I like to call this, but I can't say it on a feed because language.
Right. That's it, naughty. I'll call it Eat the Baby. Pavlex is waving his finger. He's like, fine, I will come round to you, Wyatt.
The interesting thing, the winner of this plays the Gatekeepers tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
How could I forget that?
Well, I forgot to.
Okay, we're now going the right way,
Yes.
and it seems to be a sprint off that we're going. The pack and the jammers both moving at high speeds.
We were having some fun with this jam, aren't we?
It is. I mean, why not? Let's just tire ourselves out even more.
I like to think, they've all gone a bit stressed out, and now suddenly the adrenaline's just kicked in, and they're going to get a little silly.
Yep,
Fair
exactly.
enough.
This is the mad moment of this game. I mean, I think in the last game it was a skater losing half of a skate.
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't see that one. I think that was when I was getting my lunch.
I was doing my house call in that one, and I was like, okay.
Do you not need that bit?
No, I didn't. He's carried on with 6 wheels. It was pretty spectacular.
Wow. Front or back truck?
It was back truck came off.
So tippy toes on 1 foot all round. Wow.
Meanwhile, we have got back on track. It is B-Stang pushing hard against that brace wall of Shock Exchange blockers. At the front, we've got number 5, Pablex.
Pablex really pushing on both of them on tough walls. But I feel like I should mention it was B-Stang's 30th birthday last week.
Oh, happy belated birthday.
Happy birthday, B-Stang. Oh, maybe not. That wasn't the gift, you falling over, mate.
So it looks like it's Wyatt jamming this one. Sorry, I said it was B-Stang.
Oh, yeah, I'm wishing B-Stang a happy birthday. He's not even on track.
He's out blowing out his candles.
Yeah, he's gone. You put Wyatt on instead. What? What back on? Oh, Katie's tagging out.
Tag, my turn.
Tag, you're it. We've swapped announcers again.
Basically,
no one can cope with me for too long, basically.
Well, what we've done is we've all joined the Battered Sausage fan club that seemed to start online anyway, and we all want to take a turn.
Yay! That's fine with me. Ego out of control.
What did I miss?
Everyone just skated around like crazy, which was fun.
Played some derby.
Yeah, we had babies trying to be eaten. They weren't quite eaten, but we did a bit of backwards.
Okay, I'm glad you clarified what that was. I got really confused there. We had babies trying to be eaten. I thought, what kind of derby are we playing?
So a bit of clarification. We were like, where's Abe Drinken? The reason why Abe Drinken is not here is because he is actually here. He's Wyatt. He's going under the name Wyatt now.
Exactly. We are ever the professionals, and we always do what we can.
Always do the research.
With the names that are given in front of us. That's what they submitted. So we now know Abe Drinken as Wyatt.
It wasn't even that. It was me reading out my list of who got into Team USA, and I've got Abraham Drinken on there.
That could not have been more English either. I was reading out my list.
I was reading out my list, and it was the wrong list, and I got it wrong, as usual.
Well, there's a list of zebras just now huddling as we have an official review. Looks like it was called by, I'm going to guess, Shock Exchange.
Yeah, she's pointing over there.
It seems to be pointing in that general direction, although the Shock Exchange bench looks very, very empty right now.
Where have they gone?
There's 2 in the bin, 5 around the track, 1 on their bench. No, there should be more than that somewhere. We appear to have misplaced some shock exchange.
She's having a walkabout. And we're getting some dancing from Sammy.
Maybe
Dr.
he's telling
Sammy.
us. He's telling us where Jonathan R is. For those who follow him on social media, they will know Jonathan R spends most of his time in like dance rinks, forever in dance-offs.
Maybe Sammy is channeling Jonathan R. Or
Look at
trying
those
to
feet
tell
work.
us where he is through interpretive dance.
Yes. This is the code for the opposition have kidnapped Jonathan R, and we would like you to help us get him out.
Yeah, well, he's like Lassie. Little Jonathan R's stuck down the well. What is it, Sammy? What are you trying to tell us?
Jonathan stuck down the well?
Jonathan's stuck down the well?
We now have literally we had an NSO doing the flamingo there, an official review signal
lovely.
on one leg.
Beautiful. This game has everything.
It literally does. It has a massive lead just now for the Aftershocks. 133 to the Shock Exchange's 61. Quick math tells me 72 points of a difference.
That is quick math.
With just under 20 minutes still left to play in the second half. So still plenty of time for the Shock Exchange to claw that difference back. Of course, those two people sitting in the penalty box may need to come out and join them first.
Yeah, they need to behave. Looks like I'm guessing that is because of the medical issue earlier. He's got an injury, so he's taking his skates off.
It's
that was
number 132, Ezra Pound.
Ezra Pound. That's a shame.
Ezra Pound is off to get changed because it looks like he's done.
He definitely looked like he was done now, but hopefully nothing too major. Get an ice pack on it tonight, take some ibuprofen, hopefully that's all it is.
One of his teammates can help him out because I Don't Care Bear really does care. I'm sure
really
he's
does
concerned
care.
about the welfare of his teammate.
Absolutely.
They'll go and take a seat. And this jam is back underway. Jamming for the Aftershocks. That looks like a familiar set of skates. That's B-Stang out with a star for the team in black.
And it's Dr. Sammy Snazzy Leggings, as I'm calling him now.
Dr. McBright Trousers. Sammy Dangerfield still trying to push past that 2-wall. Tony Muse holding back.
And that is
looks
big
like,
old back block.
Yeah, back block from B-Stang, but it looks like, if I'm honest, it seemed like Sammy Dangerfield was actually well out of the way, and it was actually his own blocker who pushed him in front of B-Stang.
It was a bit of a mess, to be honest, but on we go.
It's like he threw his own jammer into the front of someone who took it then as a back block. Unfortunately for B-Stang, that's just the way things go.
Yep.
It was a back block, so he's seated in the penalty box.
Sammy's trying to get the crowd going.
Easily done, I'm not going to lie. This crowd loves to make noise and we're extremely grateful to them for it, but Sammy Dangerfield with a little bit of encouragement.
Yeah.
Pile up.
Having a little sit down there on the inside line.
Carl Le Fou and the plumber just sharing a hug.
Oh, Carl and the plumber. It sounds like some odd little romantic novel.
Plumber Le Fou. Pack stuck and slowed down, but B-Stang managed to break free and force his way free. But a forearms penalty called on B-Stang. He tried to force T-Stop Tornado up and away from him, just did so a little bit too forcefully. Second penalty of this jam for B-Stang.
Come on, B-Stang, you're 30 now, you've had your birthday. Time to behave.
You've had your break.
You've had your fun. Just
now,
because it's your birthday.
Now it's time to get back to the serious business of MRDA Champs Roller Derby.
Super cereal.
Big Spoon using Sammy Dangerfield as his little spoon there and just not letting him go anywhere.
He is a little spoon as well.
He is, but he's getting a lot of good reactions from the crowd at Sammy Dangerfield. Crowd in Wales taken to him and taken to all of our visiting teams really, really highly, which is awesome.
I'd just like to say a little hello and hi to Panda.
Aww. Panda, why aren't you here? Like, I know you're having a child and stuff. Not literally now while you said that
right
tweet,
now.
hopefully.
That's dedication to the MRDA 2017 hashtag. Actually giving birth. Must use the right hashtag.
Love when you hear that. Multiple calls from referees, all of the same thing. Echoing a forearms call as Becker makes his way to the penalty box. Pavlex jamming for Shock Exchange, but through goes B-Stang. Got two in a row, B-Stang jamming and out for lead jammer.
Yep.
Lee Jammer twice in a row. He just lost it in the last one because he kept going to the penalty box.
Yeah, he's a naughty boy. But hit out by
Molin Brando.
Did some beautiful blocking work there. T-Stop Tornado was joining in as well. And then suddenly everyone piles in on him.
It's like everyone piled up on the outside line, then they all went a little bit too far and everyone went off that outside line.
Like, hang on. We're all out of the track here. This is no good.
So when everyone stops, looks down and went, oh.
Oh, we've done this. We've done this wrong. We've gone too far. We need to rethink this situation.
Rolomite going to get his turn now, lining up the jam for the Aftershocks. Looks like he's up against Carl Le Fou for the Shock Exchange. Of course, the Aftershocks in black, Shock Exchange in white.
And I believe as well this year it has been 10 years of the New York Shock Exchange. That's another little factoid I'm going to drop in for you there. Just as Carl Le Fou takes lead jammer for New York Shock Exchange.
Look at Rolomite though, as he went round that turn, and look at him, he's almost putting his hand on the floor just to keep himself upright. He is so quick.
He's so quick. We should get him like an extra skate for his hand when he puts it down. And then we're like, haha. Now, does that still count if it's got a skate on it?
Look, I think he stopped moving his feet about 2 laps ago, but he was going so fast, he's just rolled round the track the entire time.
Is he going straight back on as well? Oh no, he's rolling away.
Oh, just taking his time.
Oh yeah, oh for once.
Yeah, just going chill, slowing down.
Yeah,
apparently Panda's not giving birth right now, which is nice.
Good.
That's
hashtag
good.
not giving birth, but also hashtag MRDA 2017.
It's not official online if it doesn't have a hashtag before it.
Yeah, don't forget, if you use that hashtag, we can see it on our special little tag wall. It's very exciting. Bring on the wall.
Jamming now, that looks like, is that? Yeah, it's the plumber starting with the star.
The plumber.
Out and away, lead jammer for the plumber. We've seen him take a couple of star passes earlier in that first half. Now starring with the star and gets lead jammer for the Aftershocks.
Plumber
tried to skip.
He loves his off-skates drills, apparently.
Saw him there, tried to hop and skip his way around the inside, and a track cut called. We had a star pass to Malcolm Sex. He's taken the star, but a track cut called. He sits in the penalty box. Power jam now for the Aftershocks.
So Plumber up against formidable wall of Jeffrey and Pablex, but calls off the jam.
Again, he knows they're probably running a bit lighter on a jammer rotation, which, to be fair, if he's having to jam from the start, it's kind of obvious. So again, knowing he can start this next one on a power jam, let's just start it now.
Yeah, start with some fresh legs.
Exactly. 144 to the Aftershocks, 67 to Shock Exchange. Slowly starting to pick a couple of points back, but I think we're still sitting at, what is that, 77 points of a difference now?
Oh, ask a mathematician.
I can has maths.
I cannot.
B-Stang out once more, jamming again for the Aftershocks, trying to take advantage. Oh, goodness me. Carl Le Fou, that was you could see what he was going for. Didn't quite work as well as he was hoping.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what he was going for, to be honest.
Getting stuck between Becker and Waterboy, but now B-Stang, Pablex bracing that wall at the front, number 517, and Carl Le Fou. That's T-Stop Tornado. Solid 3 wall at the front. In comes Tony Muse to work a bit of offense.
You've got Malcolm Sachs just hit off on the inside line there by number 12, Becker, for the Aftershocks.
B-Stang round 5 more points. Nothing up for them, and a team timeout being called by Shock Exchange. While they do that, thank you again to Plagued Fitness, providing those infected by roller derby, fitness and healthy living with clothing for their contagious lifestyle. The way I was coughing earlier, I feel slightly contagious. I think I've caught the derby bug.
I think that's a different kind of derby bug, and I'm going to move my chair a bit further away from you.
I don't blame you. To be fair, most people tend to do that whether I'm coughing or not. Plagued Fitness clothing is durable enough for practice, comfortable enough for everyday wear, which is awesome. Check them out at plaguedfitness.com. If you use the order code, actually, MRDA15, get you 15% off their entire order. Free international shipping on their entire order comes from MRDA Ship.
Yep.
Use those codes MRDA15 or MRDA Ship, and you can get yourself some special goodies from plaguedfitness.com.
Excellent stuff.
So team timeout ticking away now for Shock Exchange. That's that one done and dusted. We have got just over 12 minutes left to go in this game. Of course, coming up after this will be Bridgetown Menace taking on the Toulouse Quad Guards. And the winners of this game, or is it the runners-up of this game, will go on to face the Gatekeepers tomorrow. The winners of this game will go on to face the Gatekeepers tomorrow. Ouch.
Exciting
Like
stuff.
you're playing a game this hard and you know your reward is to play a game even harder tomorrow.
That's a funny sort of reward, but they love it really.
It's like, yay, but
Oh,
he'll certainly be celebrating though. That's Rolomite out for lead jammer once more. By the time I finished that sentence, he's already back round on his next pass.
How? Teach me.
Show me your ways.
Show me your ways.
Hey, there we go.
Hey.
There was three of them.
Yeah, 3 of them. And not only did he get through them, but somehow most of them ended up off the track or almost off track.
It's like a hot lightsaber through a tauntaun. The man's insane.
Who stopped Rolomite? He's just standing still. I got very confused, but then he
Well,
called
the thing is, I'm not sure if he is actually standing still or he's just going so fast we can't see him.
Yeah, he's bent time and space.
Wait, look at this. He's stuck down on that outside line. There were
One
3
off,
blockers there.
3
1, 2,
off.
3.
They all went off. They all went off. How?
Should be banned.
Should be banned. Oh, he's
taking
having
a well-earned break
I was going
now.
to say, he's having a well-deserved lie down. I'm thinking maybe he took a bit of a hit that he just had to stop. Either that or the universe ceased to move around.
Yeah, I was going to
him.
say.
Maybe that's how he goes so fast. It's not him moving, it's the universe moving around him.
He is the reason that the Earth rotates.
Oh, wow. I can believe that.
B-Stang is out for lead jammer, though, closely followed by Carl LeFou. Slowing each other down. It's like they're just following each other, having a chat as they go around
I think
track.
they probably are.
Pack, though, still keeping a steady pace as they go around turn 3 into turn 4, out and down the straight. B-Stang gets his hips round. Did he get far enough for a point? Nothing up for the Shock Exchange. Jammer referee for the Aftershock seems to be giving this some serious consideration.
Yes. You have to behave yourself around Carl LeFou. He's a trial attorney.
He's a trial attorney.
Apparently he's a trial attorney, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, yeah.
I've pronounced his name correctly so far, right?
Yeah, wow.
Cool.
I hope so. He's also a member of the Mexican national team. So that was the 4th lead in a row for the Aftershocks as well.
4 in a row for the Aftershocks. Rolomite taking a well-deserved break over at the side after helping them towards that. Sammy Dangerfield out jamming now for the New York Shock Exchange. And this looks like the first time we've seen jamming in this game for the Aftershocks. Number 93, Waterboy. And as consistently as the rest of the Aftershocks have done, he wears the star, he gets lead.
Yep.
5 in a row.
5 in a row now.
Insane.
Oh, he's here.
Hey!
Oh, I thought that was going to be a really big apex jump, but he didn't need to take. He just took a little step instead. But the way he was really like just accelerating there, I was like, are we going to see like a massive jump?
I'm going to go for the Nat, fooled you.
No, not.
This time switches up his tactics, goes to the outside, guided off track by Malcolm Sex, recycled by Mullen, Brando and Jeffery.
Like I say, guided like it was really politely done. Let me just show you away from here.
Allow me to show you the outside line.
Oh, it's lovely. That's
Cross
lovely
it.
this time of year.
Cross it, then get back 20 feet, please. Waterboy this time finds his way, switches back to the inside line to much success, through for 5 more points. T-Stop Tornado out of the penalty box as Malcolm Sex takes a seat in it. Quick switcheroo. Sammy Dangerfield, he really looks like he's struggling now. That Aftershocks wall is giving him absolutely nothing. I think he's bounced off of Becker about 8 times so far.
That's not a comfortable position to be in, bouncing off Becker. He's really... someone help him.
Even I think
Help
Sammy
him.
Dangerfield has just stopped for a rest.
Yeah, he's just leaning on it. Oh, yes, he's pushing. No, he's just leaning.
That's better. Back to that quick footwork we expect from him. Does so. Off goes Sammy Dangerfield. And the Waterboy says, thanks for your efforts. Now you've just done that, I'm going to call the jam off.
Sammy's having a little wave. Not sure who to. Is his mummy? Yeah?
As we see on the replay here, Sammy Dangerfield off to the outside. And again, look at that. One individual trying to hold him back was still Becker. Becker just seems to have this laser-guided sight for jammers just now. He has been so effective for the Aftershocks in this game. B-Stang and Carl LeFou lining up respectively for their teams. The Aftershocks, of course, in black. Shock Exchange in the whites. Aftershocks 178 to the Shock Exchange's 67. 7.5 minutes left to go in the game. Carly Fu taken off by Tony Muse. Ouchie. T-stop Tornado with a little bit of celebration. B-Stang on his way to the penalty box. Carly Fu with lead jammer.
Yeah, B-Stang sent off for a forearms penalty, so we have a power jam for the New York Shock Exchange.
Naughty B-Stang. Keep your forearms to yourself.
Yeah, you keep those to yourself.
Well, the Aftershocks clearly want to do a bit of team bonding on track. Boo and Wyatt sharing a hug on the floor.
Ah, that's always nice.
Carly Fu says, thanks, you two hug it out. I'm going to skip through for another 5 points. Out of the straight into turn 3, slowing down a little bit, meets the back. Look at that, it's that man again, Becker.
Not you again.
Why, Yoda?
So Wyatt and Becker holding that wall together.
Wyatt doing the bridge, Muse and Becker doing the hold as Boo tries to work a bit of offense. B-Stein just says, thanks, you stand there, I'll take a whip off your shirt.
Yeah, thank you. Give me your shirt. But skating out backwards, it's Carl LeFou. I don't know why he's pointing back at the ref. Is that sort of like finger guns? Hey!
Hey-o!
I got you.
But again, who was that last blocker trying to hold Carly Fu back? He seems to be everywhere just now. Becker has been... I mean, look at this. I thought he was going to stay out again for the... Oh, look, he is.
Oh, look, you can't get rid of him.
He's literally... No, just leave me in. I want to play everything.
It's like when you get a bit of plastic like stuck to your hands, like a bit of cellophane wrap, and you're like, get off, get off. That's that guy.
That's
you're
Becker.
Trying to put it in the bin, and you're like, wipe it on your hand, and it just won't come off. Like a bit of this stuff.
From
like
one hand to the other
wrapper.
hand, to the next thumb, to the
it's
finger.
just like the static sticks to you.
Becker everywhere. Nothing but Becker.
Yeah.
Sammy Dangerfield with the star for New York Shock Exchange. And that looks like Plummer back wearing the star for the Aftershocks. No lead jammer, though, for Plummer. Dangerfield out and takes lead. Breaks that streak of the Aftershocks.
So Sammy is up against Becker again.
I
The
give up.
dreaded Becker.
I'm going to stop. There is a skater coming up later on in this tournament called Captain Obvious. I'm starting to think it's pretty obvious that any time a jammer goes off for Shock Exchange, it was probably Becker.
It's all Becker's fault.
Stop being good at what you do.
Yes, you stop that.
I know. How dare you be good? Aftershocks now 180. New York Shock Exchange 81. 5 minutes left to go. This has been a much bigger score differential than I think a lot of people were expecting.
Definitely a lot bigger. I want to say it's not 100. It's 99.
Yeah.
Maths, everyone. I had to sit and work it out, do my sums in my head. I was like,
Because
if it was
math.
80, yeah, if it was 180 to 80, that'd be 100.
Look at that. Rollamite says, you know something, I don't want you to continuously get lead jammer, so I'm going to come out and break your streak.
Yeah, I'm going to have lead jammer. Thank you. It's my go. My turn.
My turn.
Only
Direction of
polite.
gameplay penalty on Pablex. He sits down in the penalty box. Carly Fu out and away. Tries to chase down Rollamite, who puts 4 points on the board and calls the jam for the Aftershocks.
Keeping it very brief there. Just one scoring pass from Rollamite.
Exactly. If you were as impressed by the blocking of Becker and the jamming of everyone else we've seen, Sammy Dangerfield, Rollamite, B-Stang, Carly Fu, whatever, let them know online. Use the hashtag MRDA 2017. It will pop up on the feed here, and we will read your tweets out as and when they come through to us. Looks like we're getting another team timeout.
Team timeout, everyone.
By the New York Shock Exchange. So while they do their thing, let us do our thing and tell you about our sponsors. Quad Skate Shop, who are not on site but are online. You can head over to quadrollerskateshop.com. No specific shout out provided, but we're going to give them one anyway because they've sponsored us.
Yeah, I was going to say not on site, but in our hearts.
That works. In our hearts
write that
and
one
minds.
down.
Hang on, let me get my pen. If you do also use Snapchat, as you mentioned earlier, loves a Snapchat, does battered sausage.
Oh yeah, get yourself on Snapchat. MRDA Champs has its own Snapchat. It is MRDA Snap, not Snaps. Snap.
We want to see your pictures of where you are and who you're watching this with. We've had some pictures from people on holiday so far.
Yeah, we've had pictures on holiday from Phoenix. That was awesome.
Exactly, over in somewhere
Barbados.
nice. Barbados, there we go. I was going to say Marbella there. I don't really know why.
Marbella,
Random.
Barbados.
There's a B in there somewhere. Wherever you are, if you're having a viewing party, if you're watching with your friends, family, cat, we don't care. Send us your pictures and use the hashtag.
Especially if you're watching with your cat. I want to see pictures of your cats. Just for fun. And your pets. Just send pictures of your pets in your viewing parties.
Hashtag MRDA 2017, hashtag Pets Watch Derby.
Yes, can we? That's a thing now, everyone. I've declared it.
That's going to work. Waterboy jamming for the Aftershocks. Carl Lee Fu out for New York Shock Exchange. Strangely enough, this is a weird jam where they actually started on the jam line and ended up further back before the jammers engaged. We're at turn 4.
They're doing it wrong. Oh, a lovely big hit from Beastang on Carl Lee Fu, but didn't break his stride very much at all.
Now, Waterboy's out for lead. Pablex out on the penalty box. Full track and a fast pack. Racing round turn 3. Waterboy trying to chase him down. Sees Pablex at the end. Oh, goodness me. Hi, Pablex. Go say hello to the front row.
Pablex is like, why did you do that? What was that for?
What did I do to you?
What have I done to you?
The Waterboy says, you were there. Goodness me, what a hit. That's the complete different style that you get from someone like Waterboy compared to someone like Rolomite. Rolomite is so quick, so nimble, so agile. He ducks and dives and gets through gaps that don't even exist. Waterboy just makes the gap bigger.
Yeah. So, okay, nice tweet here from Harry Hooper again. Jukes Duckham. Is that right? Rolomite was the MVP choice for the jammer selection there for MRDA.
MVP selections coming out and choices being made already, even though we're still in day 1, which is awesome. Sammy Dangerfield jamming for Shock Exchange. Rolomite back out jamming again for the Aftershocks. Neither team really going anywhere as they come round that turn, but Rolomite shrugs off Pablex and takes lead jammer.
News to Sid, the Pets Watching Derby thing's kicking off already from Danny Sims. Danny Sims' dog watching the live stream over in Los Angeles.
Yeah. We've got a video. Fantastic.
We've got video. She is into this game. Thanks, Danny Sims. That's amazing.
Danny
Please
Sims
keep
going.
sending them in.
We've had a star pass from Sammy Dangerfield to Pablex, but Pablex, I don't think he's too grateful to have taken that, because right now he's facing the wall of Beastang and T-Dog and getting nowhere.
Worst Christmas present ever.
Please take it back. No one wants it, and there he goes. Track cut, and as Pablex sits down, jammer star in hand. Star pass complete, but so was the track cut, unfortunately. 198 now to the Aftershocks. Shock Exchange still stuck scoreless now for the last few jams on 81, and we've got less than a minute and a half to play in this game.
San Diego Aftershocks just 2 points away from smashing that second century, or slapping it, as some people will like to refer to it as. We love to slap the century. We love to slap a double century.
Loves them to go, and jamming again now for the Aftershocks. Trying to get them through that barrier is the plumber, who he went through backwards and ducking down. His hips passed, but his head didn't follow for about another half a lap.
He just likes his little spin, this one. So see what New York Shock Exchange has done there. They have put old Dr. Sammy Snazzy Pants, as I'm now referring to.
Dr. McLightning Pants.
Yeah, Sammy is pivot, which makes me think they are going to do a star pass when
Pablex comes through.
Pablex went blank there. Yep. Already, panty is off.
Yeah.
But
Cover off in hands.
He's gone for a fake because Sammy's behind him. So is he going to go for it anyway?
He has faked it, and it looks like Wyatt now as the last blocker, trying to hold him up at the front. Tony Muse got in on the action. Boo now with a little bit of offense, just creates a tiny little gap, allows the plumber through. 4 more points, calls the jam, and time ticks down. We may not have time to get another jam in, but if the benches have spotted that and they have time, they may just call a timeout.
They may do.
Thing is, I think Shock Exchange have now used all of their team timeouts, which means they can't call one to get this one reset.
Will the Aftershocks be that bothered? No, was that the big whistle?
There goes the final whistle. One long rolling one brings this game to an end, and unofficial final score sees the Aftershocks 207 to Shock Exchange's 81. I did not see that coming.
No, me neither. I was fully expecting either something much closer, or and perhaps the other way around with the win. I was actually expecting
126 points.
That is a huge differential for rank 4 against rank 5.
Yeah, 4v5 to have that kind of score difference is
huge.
Crazy. I mean, we saw similar kind of score difference with Roller Derby Toulouse in their first game earlier on today, but that may be the biggest winning margin of the day so far. Nope, that's a lie. Sorry, I forget.
We're
Manchester's
lying.
New World Order.
Yeah.
My apologies against the gatekeepers. But that's been an insanely close game. Despite that score difference, I think what really hindered Shock Exchange were those jammer penalties. Even when they were passing the star, whoever was taking the star could not stay out of the penalty box. That last jam kind of epitomised that, with Pablex coming out, having just taken a star pass, and then looking for another one again.
Absolutely.
Seems to have kind of stuck them over for it, sadly. Coming up next on the track, we will of course have Bridgetown taking on the Toulouse Quad Guards. Phenomenal game to round us up for our last game of the day. Don't forget, stick around to the live feed after that final game is done, though, because we will have our very own Captain Malice bringing you a roundup of the day's events. We'll have some fantastic replays for you. Thanks again to our folks over at Derby Duck Productions for all of their fantastic work. Without them, this event would not look as good to you at home as it does now. And how much did you pay for this feed? Nothing.